Welcome back to the Fundamentals of Fitness, the podcast where we take big, complicated, confusing fitness concepts and make them make sense. I'm Alison, your coach, your hype woman, your science-backed translator, and today you're about to learn the one principle that will change absolutely everything about your training. We've talked about warm-ups, we've talked about cardio versus strength, we've talked about sleep, we've talked about the mind-muscle connection, and all of those things are incredibly important. But today, we're talking about the thing that actually makes your body change. Because you can warm up perfectly, you can have the best sleep routine, you can squeeze your glutes so hard they could crack walnuts, you can train 3, 4, 5 times a week, and still nothing changes. You look the same, you feel the same, your weight doesn't budge, your strength doesn't go anywhere, your body shape doesn't shift, your athletic performance stays stuck exactly where it is. And 99% of the time when that's happening, it's because of one thing. You're not using progressive overload. This episode's going to explain what progressive overload actually is, why your body refuses to change without it, how Gen Pop clients and fat loss clients should use it, how athletes and motorsport performers should use it, how to know if you're making progress, how to break a plateau, and how to start progressing today, not one day when you're more confident. This episode is for you if you've been lifting the same weights for months, you feel stuck in your transformation, you're an athlete who's plateaued in performance, you keep showing up but don't feel anything moving, or you're just tired of working hard without seeing results. By the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly how to progress every single week safely, effectively, and with purpose. So pop on those trainers or grab your coffee, let's get into it. What is progressive overload? Here's the simplest version first. Progressive overload is the gradual increase of stress placed on the body over time. That's it. Simple. No magic, no gimmicks, no 70 quid detox tea. Your body changes because you force it to adapt. Now here's the slightly deeper version, the version most people never really learn. That your body is an adaptation machine. Its number one job is survival. It's always searching for the easiest, laziest, most efficient way to do something. Which means if you lift 20 kilos today and 20 kilos next week and 20 kilos the week after, your body goes, oh, we know how to do this, nothing to adapt, nothing to improve, we'll just stay exactly as we are. Cheers. If an athlete does the same sprint drills or the same neck exercises or the same conditioning sessions with the same intensity, the body says, oh, brilliant. We've mastered this. No need to waste energy getting faster or stronger. Your body is smart and it will not spend energy adapting unless it absolutely has to. So progressive overload is the principle of deliberately, consistently, gently pushing your body into new territory every single week. Not breaking yourself, not going beast mode every session, not ego lifting, just improving a tiny bit over and over again, until those tiny bits add up to a completely different body. Now imagine you're learning to drive on a new route. At first, you're thinking, you're checking mirrors, you're reading signs, you're adjusting your speed, your brain is fully engaged. Then after a few weeks, you're like, oh, I'm here already? Did I teleport? How did I get here? That's your nervous system becoming efficient to a repeated task. Your body does the same thing in training. If nothing changes, no load, no reps, no range of motion, no tempo, no intention, your body becomes efficient. And when it becomes efficient, it's no longer adapting. Let's clear up a few huge misconceptions. It's not adding 5 kilos every week forever. It's not sweating more. It's not being more sore. It's not being more tired. It's not doing 100 reps instead of 12. It's not destroying yourself. It's not changing workouts every week to keep it interesting. This next line is important. progressive overload isn't about doing more, it's about doing slightly better. Better technique, better range, better intent, better strength, better control, better performance. That's what changes a body. That's what changes an athlete. And that's what 99% of gym goers are not doing. And if you're listening to this going, shh, that might be me, I promise you, you're not alone. Most people are not taught this. Most training programs don't explain this. And most fitness influencers don't even understand this. But you will. By the end of this episode, you'll be able to walk into your session tomorrow knowing exactly how to progress. Before we get deeper into the science, let me tell you something from my own early lifting days, because I made this mistake too. For months, and I mean months, I was stuck at the same deadlifting weight. Same warm-up, same working set, same reps, same exact intensity. And I kept thinking, why am I not getting stronger? I'm training hard. I'm showing up. I'm doing everything right. But I wasn't doing everything right. I wasn't progressing. I wasn't overloading. I was repeating. And do you know what repeating does? It maintains what you already have. It doesn't build anything new. When a coach explained progressive overload to me properly, not as a buzzword, but as a system, everything changed. I realized I was never actually getting closer to failure. I wasn't increasing my range. I wasn't playing with tempo, and I definitely wasn't adding load consistently. I was doing a familiar workout, not a progressive one. So I started tracking. I started adding my reps. I started improving my form. I added 2.5 kilos here and there. I paid attention. I stopped just doing deadlifts and started training deadlifts. And that's when my strength moved. That's when I finally broke my plateau. And that's when I felt like an athlete in the gym instead of someone just going through the motions. And I promise you, for a lot of people listening right now, you're stronger than you think. You're more capable than you realize. You're just not giving your body a reason to show you what it can do. But that changes today. Most people think progressive overload only means lift heavier weights, but that's actually the least accessible version for beginners, for people in a calorie deficit, and for athletes in season. So here are the 6 main methods, each with a general pop example and an athlete/motorsport example, so everyone listening can find a strategy that works for their current training phase. Number 1, increase load. That means weight. This is the most obvious one, but ironically the least used. If you've been benching 20 kilos for the last 3 years, guess what? Your body's not changing. Gen pop example, you're doing the goblet squat with a 10 kilo dumbbell. You've done them for weeks. You know you could pick up the 12.5 and be fine, but you just don't. That tiny jump, that 2.5, might be all the new stimulus you need to start building real strength. And here's an athlete motorsport example. You're doing neck isometrics with a resistant band for racing. If the band tension has been the same for months, your neck will stop adapting. Increase tension slightly, and your ability to resist G-force improves. Athletes plateau not because of lack of effort, but because they stop progressing load. If it feels the same as last week, it is the same. Change something. Number 2, increasing reps. Sometimes load isn't the right thing to manipulate, especially in a calorie deficit or when building confidence. Reps are a brilliant, safe method of overload. Here's a Gen Pop example. Last week you did 3 sets of 10 on dumbbell rows. This week, do 3 sets of 11 or 12. 2 more reps might not feel huge, but internally, your muscles feel a big difference. And an athlete example. A karting driver doing anti-rotation core holds. Week 1, 12 seconds. Week 2, 15 seconds. That's progressive overload. That's increased capacity. And that translates into better mid-corner stability, less torso collapse, and more consistent force transfer. A coaching cue for you. 1 more rep is still progress. Never underestimate the small wins. Number 3, increasing sets. This is about increasing total volume rather than intensity. This is great for beginners, people nervous about lifting heavier, and people who feel stronger once they get into the flow of a session, and athletes working sub-maximally. A Gen Pop example is that you're doing 3 sets of hip thrusts. You're not ready to increase weight just yet, but adding a fourth set? Totally doable. Your glutes will get more mechanical tension, more stimulus, more shape, strength, and tone. And the athlete example, a racing athlete doing neck flexion extension. Week 1, 3 sets. Week 2, 4 sets. That's an increase in stress tolerance, essential for late race endurance when fatigue hits hardest. And another coaching cue for you here. You don't always have to go heavier. You can go longer. Number 4, increasing range of motion, or ROM. This one is massive. And honestly, most of your average gym goers never do this. Greater range of motion equals more muscle fiber recruitment and more adaptation. A Gen Pop example, your split squats. At first, you only go halfway down. Over time, you work towards a deeper, controlled position. That progress alone can dramatically change your quad, glute, and hip strength without ever adding weight. And an athlete? For a racing driver, a deeper, more controlled hip hinge improves posterior chain strength, which helps with braking stability, improves the ability to absorb vibrations, and reduces fatigue. This may not necessarily lift heavier, but they perform the movement through a fuller, stronger range, and that is overload. Another coaching cue here for you. Aim to move better before you aim to move heavier. Number 5, increasing time under tension. We love this one. Slow, controlled, intentional. This is a method of overload most people hate because it's spicy and because it's incredibly effective. A Gen Pop example is that you lower into a squat for 3 seconds instead of 1. Your legs are suddenly like, oh, hello, what is this? Same load, same reps, more intensity. And for athletes, isometric holds, example, planks, pull-off holds, dead hangs, are crucial for motorsport athletes. Increasing hold time from 20 seconds to 25 is a progression. Increasing eccentrics improves force absorption. It's critical for braking, cornering stability, repetitive vibration control. Another coaching cue. Slow it down. Make the muscle work. Number 6, increasing difficulty or variation. Not random workouts, not muscle confusion, not TikTok trends. This means choosing more challenging version of the same movement pattern. A Gen Pop example for you is that you've mastered your bodyweight split squats. Next step, front foot elevated split squats. Deeper, harder, more glute engagement. Or progressing from incline push-ups to flat push-ups, or goblet squats to double dumbbell squats. For an athlete or a motorsport example, you've got, for a driver, neck extension might progress from a band to a plate weight to a weighted harness, or core work might progress from a pull-off press to a pull-off press with a step out, or a dead bug to a dead bug with band resistance. Here's a coaching cue again. If the movement feels easy, you've outgrown it. And a bonus method most people forget, technique improvement. This is huge, especially for beginners and athletes chasing precision. If you improve technique, more fibers engage, joints stack better, force transfers more efficiently, risks reduce, performance increases. A Gen Pop example, your squat becomes deeper, more stable, better knee tracking, stronger bracing. Even if load stays the same for 4 weeks, your body is adapting. And an athlete example, better scap positioning during a row equals better upper back recruitment, equals better control under fatigue, equals better steering accuracy. Not sexy, but extremely effective. Here's your coaching cue. Better is progress, not just heavier. If you're listening to this and your main goal is fat loss or toning up or feeling more confident in your body, this part's for you. Because most people assume fat loss is do more cardio, eat less, work out harder. But the truth is, if you're trying to change your body shape, progressive overload is more important than cardio. And why? Because your metabolism depends on muscle, your shape depends on muscle, your confidence depends on feeling strong in your body. When you diet without strength training, you lose muscle, you feel weaker, your metabolism slows down, your fat loss plateaus, and you don't get that toned look you wanted. Strength training with overload protects your muscles while you're in a calorie deficit. It tells your body, hey, don't burn this, we're using it. So what does overload look like during fat loss? Now, because you're in a deficit, you may not always increase load, and that's okay. Your progressive overload might come from better range of motion or slower tempo, one more rep, improved form, more confidence under the bar, holding a plank for longer, adding one extra set. These are all valid, powerful progressions. During fat loss, the goal is not to lift heavier every week. The goal is to maintain or slowly increase strength while body weight drops. If you stay strong while the scale goes down, that is massive progress. Let's give you a fat loss example, a week of realistic overload. Let's say you're doing 3 full body sessions per week and your goal is fat loss. Week 1, your goblet squat is 10 kilos, 3 sets of 10. Your lat pull down is 25 kilos, 3 sets of 10. Hip thrusts are 30 kilos, 3 sets of 12. And your shoulder press is 6 kilos, 3 sets of 8. Week 2 might look like goblet squat to 11 reps, lat pull down 26 kilos, hip thrust, hold 2 seconds at the top, and shoulder press, same weight but better control. That right there is progressive overload. Tiny, achievable tweaks equal big changes over time. Now, how does progressive overload work for athletes and motorsport athletes? So athletes, including my motorsport drivers, they have different constraints. They have fatigue management, race season demands, reaction time, recovery needs, technical skill sessions, and a risk of overload interfering with performance. So overload must be more strategic. Athletes don't chase fatigue, they chase performance. And for you guys, progressive overload might look like moving the same weight with more speed, or cleaner reps, or better force transfer, or increased neck endurance, improved grip strength, deeper hinge patterns, and greater stability under fatigue. This is especially true in motorsport. So, for example, a Formula driver doesn't need a 200-kilo deadlift. They need a strong neck isometric, a strong anti-rotation core, elite endurance, grip and forearm resilience, stable spines, excellent posterior chain strength. So overload is about increasing tension, control, stability, positional strength, and repeatability. So for my athletes, for week-to-week progression, it might look like week 1, isometric neck hold for 20 seconds, Pallof press 12 reps, trap bar deadlift 60 kilos. And week 2, neck hold for 25 seconds, Pallof press 12 reps but slower tempo, trap bar 60 kilos but a deeper hinge. That might look tiny, but in athlete development, that's huge. So sometimes this might look different for athletes and Gen Pop. And athletes need to avoid central nervous system burnout. They must perform technically every week. They have a heavy external stress load and they need to protect their joints. They need stability more than fatigue. If a motorsport athlete tries to go heavier every week like a gym bro, they'll fry their central nervous system, they'll lose their reaction speeds, reduce endurance, and increase injury risk. This is why high-level strength and conditioning uses micro progressions, not go heavy or go home mentalities. The 5 signs you are actually progressing. Spoiler alert, the scale is not one of them. Here are the real indicators. Number 1, your technique is improving. Are your knees tracking better? Is your brace more solid? Is your range cleaner? Is it less wobbly? Less compensating? Technique progress equals strength progress. Number 2, you're lifting slightly more or the same weight feels easier. Now, strength isn't linear, but if something that felt heavy now feels comfortable, that is progress. Number 3, you're recovering faster. This is a silent sign of adaptation. If last month's workout wiped you for 3 days and now you bounce back in 24 hours, hello, progress. Number 4, your confidence is improving. This one is huge. Walking into the gym and picking up weights you once avoided, that is mental progressive overload. Mindset grows with the body. Number 5, you feel stronger in everyday life. carrying shopping, picking up the kids, walking upstairs, doing physical work without effort, holding posture for longer, performing under pressure. Strength is never just in the gym. And a quick warning for you, if none of these signs are happening, you're probably repeating, not progressing. But don't worry, the next section will teach you exactly how to avoid that. These are the top 10 mistakes people make with overload and how to fix them. Now, these are the mistakes I see every day as a coach, in the gym, with clients, with athletes. And yep, I've made several of them myself too. If you recognize yourself in any of these, good. Awareness is power. We'll fix it from here. Let's go. Mistake number 1, lifting the same weight forever, the classic. You go to the dumbbell rack, you pick up the 5s or the 10s or the 20s every single session. There's zero challenge, zero novelty, zero reason for your muscles to grow. So how we fix that? Every 1 to 2 weeks, ask yourself, can I go up by 2.5 kilos? Often, the answer is yes. Mistake 2, never training close enough to failure. And this one is spicy. If your set looks like this, rep 8, rep 9, rep 10, finish, and you look like you could do 10 more, you're not even close enough. People underestimate themselves massively. So the fix here is to aim for 1 to 3 reps in reserve on your main lifts. That means your last rep should feel like work, not a warm-up. Mistake 3, chasing sweat instead of progress. If your workout logic is, did I sweat? Yes, must be a good session. Did I sweat? No, must be a bad session. And you're measuring the wrong thing. Sweat is temperature regulation, not progress. So your fix is to measure your reps, your load, your tempo, your range, sets, confidence, control. Sweating is optional. Progress is not. Mistake 4, training too light because you're scared of getting bulky. This one hits so many women, and let me say this clearly. You will not get bulky by accident. You don't just wake up one day looking like a 95 kilo bodybuilder because you picked up 12.5s instead of 10s. Building muscle takes work, intentional, consistent work. So your fix is, ask yourself, is this weight challenging me? If not, go up. Strength gives shape, strength gives tone, strength gives confidence. Mistake 5, random workouts every session. Oh, this one is controversial because Instagram loves novelty. But you cannot progress a movement you don't repeat. If your leg day looks different every week, your body can't adapt, it can't improve, and it can't overload. It's the equivalent of revising a different subject every single day and wondering why you're not passing the exams. Fix. Stick to the same core lifts for 4 to 8 weeks, then progress them, then change block. That's how athletes train, and that's how results happen. Mistake 6, ego lifting. Adding weight so you look strong instead of becoming strong. If your squat depth disappears, your back arches like a cat, or your deadlift looks like a fishing rod, you're training for Instagram, not your body. Fix. Drop the load, train clean, progress honestly. Strong over looking strong. Mistake 7, going too heavy too soon. This is the other end of the ego spectrum. You add weight before you earn the technique, and then you wonder why your lower back hurts, or your knees feel weird, or your reps fall apart. So your fix is master the basics first, your full range, your stable joints, control, then overload. You don't build a house on wobbly foundations. Mistake 6, not tracking anything. This one breaks my soul as a coach. You say, I think I lifted 15 kilos last week. I can't remember how many reps I did. I don't know if I've improved. If you're not tracking, you're guessing, and guessing is not training. Your fix, so use a notes app, a paper log, my training app, or anything. Just track something. Progress you can measure is progress you can understand and repeat. Mistake 9, changing the goal every week. 1 week it's fat loss, the next it's getting strong. Then it's, I want to run a marathon. Then it's, I want a 6-pack by Friday. Your body cannot chase 14 different rabbits at once. So pick one primary goal for the next 8 to 12 weeks. Train accordingly. Overload accordingly. Stay focused. Then move to the next phase. Mistake 10. Quitting when it gets hard. This one is more mindset than mechanics. Progressive overload will feel uncomfortable. Not unsafe, not painful, but uncomfortable. And your brain will say that's enough. Your body will say we can actually do 2 more. So your fix is recognize the difference between danger and discomfort. Danger equals stop. Discomfort equals adaptation happening. And as a coach, I promise you, your biggest limits are inside your head, not your muscles. Here's a bonus mistake for you. Doing classes only. Classes are amazing for enjoyment, community, and cardio, but they don't allow structured, repeatable, progressive overload. You can't control the load, the tempo, the reps, or tracking. So your fix is, if you love classes, great, but add 2 structured strength training sessions per week, where progressive overload is the goal. Your results will skyrocket. Here are some practical examples for beginners, fat loss clients, and athletes. The overload blueprint. This is the part you're going to want to screenshot, write down, memorize, tattoo on your soul, whatever works. Because this is how you get results. This is how you build strength, how you build muscle, how you change your body shape, how you improve athletic performance, how you stop being stuck. And it's basically beautifully simple. Are you ready? Here it is. The overload blueprint. Same exercises, small weekly improvements, consistent tracking. Repeat for 4 to 8 weeks. That's it. It's not fancy. It's not complicated. It's not chaotic. It's just consistent, intentional progress. Think of it like leveling up a character in a video game. You don't go from level 1 to 20 overnight. You go bit by bit, experience point by experience point, until suddenly you're a beast. Training is exactly the same. Small improvements equal huge changes over time. Here's the 1% rule. And the 1% rule states that your goal is not massive improvements every week. Your goal is 1% better. 1 more rep, half a kilo more, 1 second longer, slightly cleaner form, a deeper squat, a slower eccentric. These are the things that transform you. Not giant leaps, tiny nudges. The 2-to-1 progression model. This is how you stay consistent and avoid burning out. Each week, aim for 2 lifts you progress. These are your main lifts. Think squat, hinge, push-pull, or key athletic movement for neck work. 1 lift you maintain. Same weight, same rep. Focus on form and stability. 1 lift you use as skill work. Low load, high focus, technique only. This prevents ego lifting, training fatigue, plateaus, and mental burnout. And it guarantees long-term steady progress. Here's your weekly progression checklist. Before each session, ask yourself, can I add 1 to 2 reps? Can I add 1 to 2 kilos? Can I slow it down? Can I go deeper? Can I make the movement cleaner? If the answer to any of these is yes, you can apply progressive overload today. If the answer is no, that's okay. It's a maintenance week. Maintenance weeks are part of the plan. Example 1. Let's give a beginner's progression for 4 weeks. Goal is the confidence, technique, and early strength. In week 1, your goblet squat is 8 kilos, 3 to 10, lat pull down 20 kilos, 3 to 10, hip hinge with dumbbells 6 kilos, 3 times 12. Week 2, your goblet squat 8 kilos, 3 to 11, lat pull down 20 kilos and a slower tempo. Hip hinge 6 kilos, deeper range. Week 3, goblet squat 10 kilos, 3 times 10. Lat pull down 22.5 kilos, 3 times 10. And hip hinge 7 kilos, 3 times 12. And your week 4 might look like a goblet squat 10 kilos, 3 to 12. Lat pull down 22.5 kilos, 3 to 11. And your hip hinge 7 kilos, 3 times 12 with a pause. That is progressive overload. The weights don't leap up. The volume doesn't explode. The technique isn't rushed. Just tidy, safe, consistent progress. In example 2, let's have a fat loss focused progression. If your goal is maintain muscle, improve strength slowly, feel more toned. Week 1, your RDL is 20 kilos, 3 times 10. Leg press 60 kilos, 3 times 12. And chest press is 15 kilos, 3 times 10. Week 2, your RDLs are 3 times 11. Your leg press 62.5 kilos and your chest press might be the same weight but with slower reps. Week 3, your RDLs 22 kilos. Your leg press is 60 kilos but 4 sets instead of 3. And your chest press is 3 sets of 11 reps. Week 4, RDLs might be 22 kilos with a pause. Your leg press might be 62.5 kilos with 3 sets of 12. And your chest press 17 kilos with 3 times 8. Progress every week, but not always the same method. In example 3, let's chuck in an athlete or a motorsport progression. So if the goal is a stable spine, stronger force transfer, improved neck and grip, and better positional strength, week 1, you might have a trap bar deadlift at 70 kilos, 3 sets of 5, a Pallof press for 12 reps, neck flexion isometric holds for 20 seconds, and a seated row 35 kilos, 3 sets of 10. Week 2 might be trap bar, same weight, but faster concentric. Your Pallof press, slower tempo. Neck hold for 25 seconds, and your row is 36 kilos. Week 3 might be trap bar, 72.5 kilos for 3 sets of 5. Pallof press, add a band for extra tension. Your neck might be 25 seconds, but with better control. And your row might be 36 kilos, 3 sets of 11. And by week 4, your trap bar could be 72.5 kilos, 3 sets of 6 repetitions instead of 5. Your Pallof press might have a step out variation. Your neck hold might be 27 seconds and your row 38 kilos. That is athlete progression. Small, clean improvements with skill, stability and performance at the forefront. Now let's talk about the too easy rule. If you say this feels too easy, then yeah, you need to progress something, because training should feel challenging, controlled, safe, purposeful, not random, easy, repetitive, and thoughtless. Your body does not adapt to comfort. Let's talk about the too hard rule. If you say this feels too hard, I can't control it, then you've progressed too fast. Dial it back. You don't earn stripes by going heavier. You earn stripes by going better. What if you had a bad week? You're human. Athletes are human too. Hormones, stress, sleep, illness, life, it all affects performance. If you can't overload that week, you switch to a maintenance mode. Maintenance is still winning. Maintenance still protects muscle, and maintenance still keeps momentum. Overload is the goal, not a punishment. So all right, team, it's about time we bring this one home. Today we've gone deep into one of the most important and most misunderstood principles of training, progressive overload. And if you take just one thing away from this episode, let it be this. Your body will only change when you give it a reason to. It's not a punishment. It's not chaos, not random workouts. Just clear, consistent, purposeful progress. That's it. Whatever your goal is, fat loss, confidence, performance, or becoming a stronger athlete, progressive overload is the thing that gets you there. And the beautiful part is that it's not complicated. The same exercises, small weekly improvements, honest tracking, repeating that for 4 to 8 weeks. You do that and you will get stronger. You will feel better. You will see changes and you will break through plateaus. Because you're no longer just showing up, you're actually training. You're giving your body direction. You're showing it where you want it to go. And I promise you, whether you're someone just starting out, someone who's been stuck for ages, or an athlete trying to level up, you are absolutely capable of progressing. Sometimes you just need a plan. Sometimes you just need clarity. And sometimes you just need someone in your corner saying, yes, you can go a little further. You've got 2 more reps in you. So here's your action steps for this week. Pick 2 lifts you want to improve. Write down what you did last week and make 1 small progression this week. 1 more rep, 1 more kilo, 1 second longer, 1 level deeper, 1 cleaner set. That's it. That's progressive overload. That's your transformation in motion. And as always, if you want guidance, if you want a program built around this, or if you want coaching that takes the guesswork out of everything, you know where I am. You don't have to figure it all out alone. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out with me today. And thank you for investing in yourself, because this stuff genuinely changes lives. Make sure you join me next week, where we're going to dive into training volume. How much is enough? This is going to connect perfectly with everything you've learned today and give you the next piece of the puzzle. Until then, keep training with purpose, keep believing in your strength, and keep showing up for yourself. You've got this.